All right. Thank you, Daniel. Now we will invite contestant 109, Martini. Turn on your camera and unmute your mic. Okay. So this is contestant.
I have to stand up.
I'm going to spotlight you. All right, Martini. All right. Are you ready for your image?
Absolutely.
Okay. Here you go. You have 20 seconds to think of your moral, and then you may begin speaking.
Time's up.
I am society. So you have to fear me. You see, in the picture, there is the cat that's looking for the big dog to do something, and the small dog that's looking for the lion to do something. So this is our image. This is basically an image of the how we look at society. And to be honest with you, the society is not set to be. It's not actually the lion where to help us within our needs. So most likely, we vote for different stuff. Oh man, I'm too nervous. I'm sorry. Can I pass?
You can keep going or just say thank you.
What? Okay. So we depend on the society to take care of a lot of things as far as like the poor community and everything else. But so far, the society and the government system is really set up to be controlling. So basically, this is what the image is giving me. So the lion represents for the society and the small cat represents for the people. When it's honest, it should be the other way around. So instead of us looking for up to society to help us, we have to help each other and actually have set up an example for the government and the society um, to basically learn from us and to actually really do what really needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Martini. Great effort. Okay. You may go ahead and turn off your camera and mute your mic. Now we will have Camille, contestant number 10. Please turn on your camera and unmute your mic. All right, Camille, are you ready?
I sure am.
Okay.
Time's up.
Are we pressured to ever look like the movie stars? Are we pressured to be someone we aren't? If this movie star has a tattoo, we need to get one, this hairstyle. When will we reflect on who makes us? When will we begin to let ourselves shine for everyone? We can always give in to the pressures of individuals. We can also look within ourselves to be that light someone else can be. In all our interactions and in all our doings, we oftentimes think that if we mirror the one who has success, we too will gain success, without realizing that within us is uniquely inert or uniqueness. Each of us has a unique way in which we can bless society. As special individuals, instead of looking to the individual to mirror them, we should know that success is not delinquent to us, but success can also be found in us. Success in another can be success in us. And as we gain success, and as we gain that desire to bless others, we have to look within ourselves and find that uniqueness that will allow others to look to us, not to mirror us, but to inspire them through our example. The day will come when our hairstyle will be our hairstyle. The day will come when we will stand up and say, this is me. But that day comes first with me saying within myself, this is Camille. And this is what Camille likes. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you. You may turn off your camera. Now we will have contestant 112, Joshua. You may turn on your camera and unmute yourself. All right, Joshua, we see you. Are you ready for your image? Okay.
Yep.
Time's up.
Okay. All right. So in society, a lot of people are accused for doing something wrong. And a lot of the time, it's the big companies who are really doing something wrong. When you see someone who is majorly polluting the atmosphere, for example, who do people target to try and reduce pollution? They target us at home. The ones that haven't been doing anything major, just driving our cars, taking long showers, maybe running the faucet while we brush our teeth. But in all reality, the people who are really destroying these places are oil refineries and different large factories. But of course, no one wants to blame them because these are big, powerful people that really no one wants to tangle with. But if you really look to the facts, it's them who we should be concerned with. And if we were to just put a little bit more thought into how they were doing these different options, we could try and find a way to avoid the path of polluting our atmosphere because of necessity. And that's another reason why people decide that the only people who should be allowed to pollute are them, because they are a necessity to us. But in all reality, driving your car is a necessity. Taking long showers can be a necessity for some people. And really, would society rather have poorer quality of life and have these bigger companies just continue to pollute and there's no change? Or should we be targeting these people and trying to not bash them over and over again, but to instead try and help them to think of new ways to solve these different problems? Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. You may go ahead and mute yourself and turn off your camera. Our last contestant for level 1 will be Jay, and he is contestant number 113. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Jay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Our time's up.
So what I understand from this picture is that a lot of the things in our life are being controlled by other things that we don't really understand. An example of this could be like our president, like they're controlled by, not controlled, but influenced by lobbyists who give them the money to run. And in turn, they'll push things that they like suppose they want to have their company not have a law to restrict them, then they'll make sure that they push for that and they'll donate to the president during his campaign. And a lot of other things as well, like CEOs and stuff like that, are being controlled by things that we don't really know about. And that's just, I think the tiger is representing the things that we think are powerful, and the strings are what's really controlling it from behind the scenes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. So now it's time to vote. Now it's time to vote. And right now we're going to copy and paste the link in the chat. You will have 3 minutes to vote.
Do we show our signs?
Yes. So all contestants right now, turn on your camera and show your sign so the audience will know who to vote for. All the contestants, go ahead and turn on. I'm gonna stop my video. Go ahead and turn on your video and show your sign. Professor Raymond, please count down to 3 minutes.
Two minutes left.
No, 3 minutes. We're gonna give the audience 3 minutes.
We're starting now.
Yes.
Okay.
Contestants, dance. Show them why they should vote for you. Have fun. Come on. Why should they pick you? Show them your lively personality. All right, contestants, you may turn off your camera and mute yourself. Professor Raymond, please let me know when the time is up.
49 seconds. Okie dokie, time is up.
Okay. So we now will transition to introducing our performer. And after she performs, we will reveal the top top 8 contestant that will move to level 2. All right. So, all right. So Jalila Patterson will be singing a song called Together. She loves to sing. Her favorite color is pink, and she has an amazing twin brother, Jay Ali, who is one of the contestants. And she is also a freshman. Jalila, can you turn on your camera? And unmute yourself. All right. Hold on, I'm gonna spite you. Okay. Yes. You you may begin. Oh, can you go back a little bit?
Is it okay? Or a little-
Yes.
okay.
That's fine. You may begin.
Hi, I'm Jalila, and I'll be performing a song that me and my mom had written. The name of the song is Together, and it's pretty much about love and unity, coming together to solve issues and problems and loving one another. So I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you. We rise together, we fall together. We get knocked down, but we get back up and fight for what's right. No matter who you are or where you're from, we climb this mountain together. You see it through with me, I see it through with you. You take care of me, and I will nurture you. No matter where you'll be, I'll be there with you. We climb this mountain together. Love conquers all. We need to love one another. I can't fight it all. I can't do it all by myself. If we stand up together, it will be a lot better. If you love me like you say, you will do it that way. Because in the end, love conquers all. Love conquers all. Love conquers all. We rise together. We move on together, cross the bridges, go through the deserts together. You see it through with me, I see it through with you. You take care of me, and I will nurture you. No matter where you'll be, I'll be there with you. We climb this mountain together. Love conquers all. We need to love one another. I can't fight it all. I can't do it all by myself. If we stand up together, it will be a lot better. If you love me like you say, you will do it that way. Because in the end, love conquers all. Love conquers all. Love conquers all. When storm clouds come over and we see the darkest day of light, I know you'll be there with me, And I know I'll be there with you too. Love conquers all. We need to love one another. I can't fight it all. I can't do it all by myself. If we stand up together, it will be a lot better. If you love me like you say, you will do it that way. Because in the end, love conquers all. Love conquers all. Love conquers all. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you.
All right. All right. That was amazing, Dalila. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your performance. And now we will reveal the 8 contestants that will compete in level 2. All right. That is Camille, contestant 110, Joshua, contestant 112, Noah, contestant 105, Carmen, contestant 101, Maria, contestant 107, Brianna, contestant 103, James, contestant 104, and Daniel, contestant 108. Yes? Did you guys get that? Let's congratulate them. And now we're gonna move on to level 2. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. All right. So level 2 is entitled It's Story Time. In this level, each contestant will receive a different story prompt. Based on the story prompt, each contestant must continue the story from where the story left off and complete it. They will have 20 seconds to think about their response and 1 to 3 minutes to complete the story. All right, 1 to 3 minutes to complete the story. Are we ready? So let's begin with Carmen, contestant 101. All right. To make sure it's fair, I will pull out a story prompt from my bag. I'm gonna turn off my screen once I'm done reading it. So Carmen, I'm gonna start over again. Sandra took a controlled breath before she cautiously lowered her hand into the dirty water to pull out
Time's up, Carmen.
To pull out the doll. In the murky water, there was a child's doll. but it wasn't too far away to guess where it came. Looking over, she saw the camp full of people, full of screams, the place where that doll came from. And inside of it, she saw two little bead eyes, two little worn bead eyes as that little doll, which was a mess. Hair was falling out. It was well loved, you can tell. And she knew she had to make the owner proud. So she took that doll with her everywhere she went. She showed the girl in the doll all the places she's been. She told it so many stories that the owner would never get to hear, because she knew whatever that doll saw, the girl would too in her soul. The girl who will never get to see where it can go, what she can grow up to be, but that doll can, and it did. For when the strings finally worn and the doll unraveled, and all you saw was the soak and mold inside of it, she knew. The doll released the spirit of a girl who finally grew up, who saw a future, not through her own eyes, but through the two beads that were found in the lake. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Carmen. The next contestant is Brianna, contestant 103. You may turn on your camera, unmute your mic. So your story prompt reads, I know it is a cliche to say he smiled with his eyes, but he did smile with his eyes. Unfortunately, the rest of him was saying,
All right, time's up.
He smiled with his eyes, so dreamy, so nice. The rest of him was saying, danger. Smiled with his eyes, the nice bad boy with the tattoos and looking all nice. But the rest of him really screamed danger. The reason he smiled with his eyes was because he was toxic in every other way possible. Smiled with his eyes, but was texting other girls with his fingers. Smiled with his eyes, but was driving around on a date with someone else. Smiled with his eyes, but all he spoke was lies with his lips. Smiled with his eyes, and everything else was danger. Little did I know that it would turn into the worst person ever. Smiled with his eyes, and he looked so nice. But really, I should have just ran. Being as if he was so nice and dreamy, I wish somebody would have told me before. I wish I would have used my eyes to see what was coming and close them right away, because I wouldn't want to have to deal with the danger that came along with his eyes. Thank you.
thank you, Brianna. All right, now we have James, contestant 104. Okay. Turn on your camera.
Mic check.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So James, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. She could hear the shower water running when she came in the front door. That's strange, she said. She dropped her keys on the table near the entrance and headed upstairs.
She
Okay, time's up.
she dropped the keys on the on the dresser that was by the door as she proceeded upstairs. As she got closer, she was able to hear the shower water running harder. And she knew, man, this is super strange. She thought to herself, I know my husband is at work. The kids are at school. Lisa should be in her math class about now. Peter should be in his algebra class about now. Who can this be that's in our shower? As she continued her walk up the stairs, she noticed her husband's shoes in front of the door. So she thought, okay, he better be in there by himself, or else somebody's going to be murdered here tonight. And these kids will be coming home from school to a crime scene. As she slowly approached the bathroom door, she felt her heart racing in anticipation, not sure what she's going to find as soon as she opens this door. But for sure, she knew that if it was him doing something wrong, that would be the end of it. She slowly crept open the door as she felt the steam from the shower escape slowly and above her head. As she heard the door open on its hinges slowly, she seen a silhouette in the shower. It was contrast to the steam that was rising all around it. She looked around the bathroom floor to see if there was any other clothing or any other sign that would indicate what is going on in her house that should be empty right now. To her relief, she didn't see anything besides her husband's clothes on the floor. So she thought to herself, well, that's definitely a great sign. Let me pull back this curtain and embrace my husband if it's just him. So as she slowly opened the curtain, her husband, Peter, turned around, not sure of who was about to open the curtain. So as she slowly pulled it back and they seen the rings on the curtain iron drifting back towards the left side, she yanked it open in anticipation. Ah! Her husband screamed, not knowing who this was that just pulled open the curtain. To his relief, it was his beautiful wife. She asked him, Paul, what are you doing home so early today? My beautiful wife, I came home to surprise you, but it turned out you surprised me. Goodness, almost gave me a heart attack, but I'm so happy and relieved to see you. He replied to her calmly while giving her a kiss. She leaned into him and gave him a kiss as well. Oh, honey, I thought you were doing something crazy. I was going to have to murder you, she said to him. He laughed at her. Honey, you know I'm too fast, too swift for you to murder me. You have to blow up the house. The end.
All right. Thank you, James. All right. Quite interesting story. All right. Now we have Noah. Noah. In my math Zoom class, I thought my camera was off when my mother came in yelling. She screamed,
Okay. My mother, while I was inside my math Zoom class, came into my room screaming, why is there money inside the laundry? Why is there money inside the dryer? I, frozen in fear, turn around and I explained to her, that's just what the gang wanted me to do. And she said, what gang? I partake in a after-school activity, socially distanced, of course, but I got caught up in the wrong crowd and they asked me to launder money. So what else was I going to do? She, out of her mind, was like, what do you mean? What were you supposed to do? How about go to the police or go to your mother instead of laundering money? Do you even know what laundering money even means? I mean, I assume you would need to put it in the laundry. I mean, why would you call it laundering? And she was like, Noah, laundering money does not mean you need to put it in our laundry. Did you wash the bills? Of course I did. How would you do the laundry? You have to wash and dry, and if it's still wet a little bit, you have to fluff it up. And if it's wrinkled, you definitely got to fluff it up for an extra 10 minutes. She was so astounded that she raised an actual idiot that she just walked out of the room, closed the door, and left me alone. I was surprised because why was she getting angry at me? I was just doing what I was supposed to do for the gang. I mean, I didn't want to end up in more trouble. So I go back to my Zoom class and everyone's camera was on looking at me. And I was like, why has everyone stopped talking? And the professor said, I think we're gonna need to have a talk after class. And that was kind of how I ended up here in federal prison. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah. Now we're going to welcome Maria, contestant 107. Contestant 107. Go ahead, turn it on. Yes. When we signed up, volunteer really, we never expected it to be more than a 6-month term. 3 years later, we are still.
I'm sorry, it was cutting off. Can you please repeat it? I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna start it again. When we signed up, volunteered really, we never expected it to be more than a 6-month term. 3 years later, we are still.
Time's up, Maria.
We're still here cleaning the beach after every single season. The students, the tourists comes to our city and they just wreck it. We're still here trying to help our city out. We're still here trying to make it a better place for our locals. We're still here having the time of our life because it's so fulfilling. We want to continue to make sure that our city, our area is clean, safe, and we are also saving all of the animals here. Our turtles, any wildlife, anything even that we don't even know about. Let's give them a chance to grow and learn about it. We're here trying to make this area clean, peaceful, and enjoyable. There's nothing else that I would rather do, and I will continue to do it for 3 more months, 3 more years, as long as I can to devote my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Maria. You may turn off your mic, mute yourself. We have Daniel, turn on your mic, unmute yourself. Daniel?
All right.
All right, hopefully you can hear me very clearly.
Yes.
All right. The center aisle of the train was filled with people standing elbow to elbow. The man in front of me smelled of cigarettes and roasted chicken. Then all of a sudden,
Time's up, Daniel.
All right. Oh, hold on, Zoom. Okay. Then all of a sudden, the train started coming to a halt. I was thrown in front of it. I was thrown forward right into the back of the man. I smelled all the cigarettes. It was disgusting. And I was thinking, what the heck is going on? Apparently, something up ahead on the tracks was blocking the path. Oh my gosh, I thought, I have to get to this interview. I was on my way to a job interview, important one in my life. See, my family, they didn't have a lot of money. And so I was trying to get to New York from New Jersey so that I could help pay for all the things that they were giving. So I ran, I pushed through the crowd of people, jumped out of the train, and I tried to find the quickest taxi. I jumped in and said, please bring me to Times Square. I need to get to the job application. The person's like, listen, man, there's a lot of traffic. I go, step on it. I pushed him. I kept going. I wouldn't stop. But in the end, I couldn't make it there. In vain. So I hung my head. I walked home. And I told my family what has happened. I wasn't able to make it. They said, it's all right. Listen, we don't need money. We know that you tried as hard as you could to get there. What's important is family, that we have each other, that you would work so hard for us. We thank you for that. Don't worry, you'll get another one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. All right. Now we will have Camille turn on her camera and unmute herself. Camille.
I'm here.
All right. Are you ready?
I am.
45 minutes ago, my cover was blown. I've been undercover as a
Time's up, Camille.
Thank you. 45 minutes have gone and my undercover 45 minutes has gone and my undercover task was blown. I've been working as a secret agent. All my life I've dreamt to be a secret agent, and this was the task that would bring all my dreams. I would get the promotions. Everything rested on this, not only for me, but for the code that I needed, for the specimen that was linked within the computer of my boss. I've been trying to be his best secretary. And all this while, I've gained his trust. I just need to be able to have access to his computer, just so I could get the code, that code. It will only take 15 minutes. I've been at this job for 3 years, and now 45 minutes, everything was hanging in a loop. The custodian was very suspicious. He was the one who always said, "Oh, you look familiar." Oh, I wish I never looked so much like my brother. He usually go downtown, and we look strikingly alike. And so here it is. The boss went out and asked me to organize his office and to organize the files on his computer. The time I needed. And instantly, there comes the custodian with a screenshot of my brother. "I knew you look familiar," he cried out. And he called everyone. And there, everything I've worked on hung on my ability to tell a lie. But could I? Thank you.
Okay, Camille, thank you. Thank you, Camille. I am going to keep my video off. I'm cutting in and out, so I'll just use audio. Joshua, can you turn on your camera? Okay, unmute yourself. All right. I hate clowns, but mostly I hate people who make me explain why I hate clowns and the look on their faces when I
Time's up, Josh.
Okay, thanks. I hate clowns, but what I hate the most is when people ask me why I hate clowns. And the reason is because when I explain it, they always ask me that one question. How could that make you afraid of clowns? That one experience when you were younger has grown a fear inside of you. And even though you know it's irrational, and even though you know that really you shouldn't be afraid of clowns, you are. And I hate that people don't even try to understand that one experience can ruin something for someone forever. Doesn't matter how irrational it is, doesn't matter how crazy it might sound, it ruins it. So a good example is a couple days ago, a friend came up to me and said, "Hey, you want to go to the circus? They're in town for only a week. I just got 2 tickets." And I said, "Sure, let's go." And I never realized that that would have been one of the biggest mistakes ever. Because as soon as I walked into that tent, there were clowns, of course. It's a circus. So, of course, my friend says, "Hey, let's go talk to the clowns. They're funny. We should get a good laugh in." And me, nervously, not wanting to show my fear, said, "Yeah, okay, let's go." So I put on a facade, I put on a straight face, and I walk up. And as I walked up, I completely cracked. And my friend laughed so hard and spread so many rumors, which aren't really rumors because they're true, that I was afraid of clowns. So now it's not a secret anymore. But hey, that's one less thing I have to lie about. So there's that. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and allow you to start voting. And as you're voting, we're going to introduce the next performer. All right. So guys, turn on your camera for 10 seconds. Show your name card. All right. All right. All right. Now, as they're voting, we're going to go ahead, because of sake of time, we're going to have the next performer perform as they're voting. So contestants, you may turn off your camera now. All right. And we're going to the performer. All right. All right. So our next performer is Emmanuel. He will be playing the piano. He's a freshman. He is also a high school senior, born in Nigeria, played music since the age of 4, and was part of the Plantation High School. All right. So I guess he's really excited. He's already started. So Emmanuel, give us about 3 minutes or so of performance. And we're gonna wrap it up. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. No problem.
Okay, time's up. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, so much. All right. So now it's time to identify the top 3 individuals that will advance to level 3. So right now I will start accepting responses for the voting. All right. And so those contestants will be contestant 112, Joshua, contestant 110, Camille, and contestant 104, James. Okay. So those are the 3 advancing. So level 3 is speak your mind on social injustice. Again, speak your mind on social injustice. And let's have James, contestant 104. We'll start with you. James, go
Okay,
ahead
I'm
and
just
turn on.
opening my timer. It's open. Reset. Okay.
All right. So are you ready, James?
Is there gonna be like the 20-second countdown or just when you say ready?
Yes, 20
Okay.
seconds. All right. So your topic is, all right, discuss your views on campaign finance. Should corporations, unions, and nonprofit organizations be allowed to donate to political parties? Again, should corporations, unions, and nonprofit organizations be allowed to donate to political parties?
Time's up, James.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, I just want to thank all my fellow Seahawks for getting me to the 3rd level. In reference to the question, do I think corporations and nonprofits should finance politics? To be honest, I would say that I am in the middle on that decision. I would say I'm in the middle on that decision for the fact that I vote myself. I do my research, but politics is a very one of those topics that you don't really explore too much. So again, I will say I do vote. I don't have an opinion on whether they should or should not contribute to political campaigns. I will say that the people who are contributing these funds, I think we should scrutinize their resources a little more, and we should do a little bit more info about them. Another thing that I want to bring up, since we're talking about politics, is the fact that a lot of young folks, myself included, I mean, I'm not that young, but when I was younger, we're not given any courses on voting. So I don't feel like the upcoming generation, again, I'm not in that generation, but I include myself in this category. I don't feel like we're taught enough about voting, about the electoral votes, about the different sections of our government. Granted, we go over that a little bit in school, but they don't get into the voting aspect of it. I know we covered a little bit of it in class, but we didn't get deep enough into it to where it would sink in and our votes would really go for the change that we all know needs to be done. In our club, we do encourage everybody to vote. I'm not sure if I invited you guys once, but I'll do it again because we're all about building on students' leadership, public speaking, and business skills. So you guys are invited there. I'd love to have more of an open forum on this same question in our club. But again, as far as my side, I don't have an opinion. I think they should be free to spend their money how they want, as long as they're paying their taxes and they're following the laws and things of that nature. So with that said, really quick, just what brings me here and makes me passionate about prison reform and social justice and this interesting topic, because this absolutely has to relate to prison reform. But a while ago, I ran into a young brother who, super cool guy. You wouldn't expect this guy to be crying. So one day on a Friday night, when again I got into a little trouble, I don't condone violence. It's lessons learned, hard lessons. But Friday night, we're all supposed to be hanging out. What we normally do is we get coffee, mix it, and we call it yak, which is short for cognac, because while you're behind bars, you don't have that. So we just nickname coffee that because the caffeine gets us super hype and stuff. So Friday night, everybody's hanging out, watching TV, drinking cognac, listening to our radios, having the best, making the most out of the bad decisions that we made and the hard lessons we were learning. So I go downstairs and I go into one of my friend's room, and
All right, James. James, you're muted, and we can't hear you.
he's like, man, I didn't know anybody loved me. So for him to tell me that, and
James, your
yes,
time is up.
oh, my bad. Okay, well, that's the reason why I'm so passionate about helping people achieve school and moving forward.
All right, thank you, thank you. Now we will have Camille. Can you turn on your camera and unmute yourself? All right, Camille. Your topic is discuss your views on women's equality in the workplace. Why is gender equality important in the workplace? You may begin once your 20 seconds are up.
Time's up, Camille.
Thank you. There should be equality in the workplace, and in particular for women. Women, I could always consider myself being a little tweaked to the side, tilting to women because I am a woman. In the workplace, the job has to be done. If it's a man or a woman, the job still gets done. So why should our job be considered less important? Growing up, I've often seen the gentleman come home, not in my own home. My dad was awesome. They would sit, get a newspaper, read, and then tackles in the mom with the baby she picked up at the daycare, also working. Then having sit the child down, do homework, and prepare the dinner. Then she has to do all these things on top of her own job. Then why should she be paid less for a job that a man does? In homes where you have only a mom, no father, why should her children be provided any less than the gentleman who works? The same job is being done. In my opinion, there should be equal pay for the equal job done. I often consider myself a worker, and most women, we are perfectionists. We go in, we give full 100 for whatever job we do. And for that reason, we should be giving back the pay for the job we've done. Man equal to woman. At the end of the day, we have sacrificed way more, not to be prejudiced to men, but I have a sweet spot in my heart when it comes to women and mothers and being paid and reaching our goals and providing for our families. Equal pay for equal job done. I think we should be equally paid as men. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Camille. And our last contestant is Joshua. If you can turn on your camera and unmute yourself. All right, Joshua, your question is, discuss your views on the Electoral College. Should the Electoral College be abolished? And why?
Time's up, Joshua.
Okay. So, sorry, I don't really know anything about the Electoral College. I can't really form an opinion on something that I don't really know. So is there any way I could try and get a different topic, or is that not possible?
I think that's fair. Just saying.
All right, we'll let you switch to another topic since, all right.
Thank you.
Discuss your views on hate speech. Should hate speech be protected by the First Amendment? Again, should hate speech be protected by the First Amendment?
Okay, Joshua.
Alrighty. So the First Amendment says that everyone has the freedom of speech, whether that be religion or something else that might be a bit personal. But hate speech, which is most commonly known as just someone degrading someone else based on what they've said, or sometimes for no reason at all. Honestly, I don't think it should be protected by the First Amendment. I mean, yes, we have freedom of speech, and yes, we have disagreeing views, but do we really have to yell at each other and try and make someone else feel terrible just because they have an opinion? I mean, that's not really a free country. In fact, when you perform hate speech or hate speech, you're limiting them. You're actually partially taking away the First Amendment. So now they don't feel comfortable speaking about what they used to believe, under the fear that someone else is going to come and ridicule them again. So people should not be able to use hate speech and be able to say, well, it's the First Amendment, I get to say what I want. Because we all know that even if it's not hate speech and someone says an opinion that they believe to be true, but it might get a lot of people offended, there's still going to be problems. They're still going to be either fired for their job because of bad publicity, and they could be ridiculed even more if it was on the internet. So with hate speech, you're not saying, oh, I'm going to use the First Amendment to make you feel bad so that you can't use the First Amendment because you feel too afraid to do that. That's completely going against what it was meant to do. So really, hate speech should not be included in the First Amendment because we can have a civilized talk. We can speak to another person with respect and try and explain why what we think is right may be correct to us. And then they can give their opinion. They can give points as to why they believe something. But you should never talk down to someone or yell at them just for doing something that they think is right. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it is time to vote. I will copy and paste the link in the chat. And as we're voting, I will introduce the last performer that will give you time to vote. So our last performer for the evening is Catherine. She will be doing a spoken word. She is a licensed esthetician, and I love a good facial. She is certified in TV production and can mimic a baby's cry. Catherine, can you turn on your camera? All right, go ahead and.
Thank you, Professor. How many Asian people do you personally know? Now, I know some of you will only take 2 hands to count, some of you will only take 1, but for me, I don't think I have enough appendages to count. See, that question for me means the whole world. For some background, I am of Asian descent. I come from a long line of Filipinos. In fact, my father is an immigrant and my mother is a first-generation Filipino. But with that comes the whole umbrella term of Asian American. Now, see, for me, I don't see Asian American as a spectrum, but instead as 2 separate ideas forced away from each other. And I'm stuck in that layover section of it, condemned to never catch my connecting flight to either. With this, I struggle with my cultural identity. I feel that my Asian and American sides are constantly at war. To start off with, I struggle with my Asian identity. Sometimes I don't feel Asian, and it's hard to. Out of the 9.34 million people in all of South Florida, only 2.8% of that is Asian. I grew up in a predominantly white and Hispanic neighborhood, and the only other Asian people I knew were my brothers. I feel like a grain of rice in a sand dune. And thus I feel connected and disconnected from the culture club, locked out of it, if you will. With this, I feel disconnected with my heritage. Sometimes I don't feel Asian. I've never been to my homeland. I don't speak my mother tongue. I only know 2 things in my mother tongue, which is Tagalog. And I can assure you at least one of those things is a curse word. I feel like I'm the whitewashed, watered down version of my ancestors, and that my ancestors and my people feel like I'm a foreigner, that I'm some Pocahontas of my time. I feel like I'm curated and made for American digestion so they can see me and assimilate better. Now, I didn't grow up in a traditional Asian household. No, I didn't play the piano. I didn't learn Tagalog. We were centered around the American culture. We only spoke English in my house because my parents didn't want me to face the same harassment they did growing up. They already knew that just because of my appearance, I would. But alongside my struggle with my Asian identity, I struggle with my American identity. Sometimes I don't feel American. And sometimes it is hard to. I have an American tongue, but I have an Asian appearance. And sometimes that's lost in racial translation. I remember at the beginning of COVID, right, this cashier was taking this couple, this Caucasian couple, who were wearing American flag buffs to the chin. Not on their face, but on their chin. They were laughing and having a good time. The atmosphere was amazing. But as soon as they left and it was my turn, the cashier stopped and stared. She looked at me with her icy little glance. She pointed a finger and she said, "Stay back." Stay back. I didn't understand what I did wrong. I left the store asking myself, what did I do wrong? The whole time I realized in that moment, the only thing I did wrong was be born Asian, especially in this time period. I wish she would at least call me a slur, because then at least I would know what she was trying to say. That was not my first incident, and that won't be my last. I remember in elementary school, kids, you know how they don't know any better. They would say that little old rhyme about Chinese, Japanese, dirty me's, look at these. Yeah, pulling their eyes so they can mimic me and mock me. I didn't understand because I thought like an American, and because I held citizenship like an American, that I too was American. Why were they mocking me? Why were they calling me a foreigner and pointing it out? It took so long for me to realize this one. I just was not their ideal. And so I find it hard to be patriotic. I find it hard to be patriotic in a system that was built, curated, and spoon-fed for white men. That I wasn't their ideal, and they made it so clear that I was not. I wasn't as pale and placid as they wanted me to be. No, to them, I was a shiny little oriental doll. They could reach out and grab my hair at any moment without my permission and ask me that little old question, do you straighten it? And every single time without hesitation, I would respond back with, yes, ma'am, I do, every morning. Like I'm some Mulan of South Florida. But to conclude, I am not the Mulan of South Florida, nor am I the Pocahontas of Asia. I am Asian American. I am not a token. I am not a grain of rice in a sea of red, white, and blue. I am Asian American. I have yet to find meaning in this sentence, but when I do, and when I catch that connecting flight, I hope to bring back some understanding with it. So I leave you with this. Because of the prevalent Asian and Pacific Islander hate crimes going on, I ask you to support your local Asian and Pacific Islander businesses. Together we will be unified, and unified we will be together. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine.
Yep.
Now it is time to reveal the winners, okay? The placement. So our third place winner is James. James will receive an awesome swag bag. Our second place winner, you can turn on your camera, is Joshua, okay? And you will receive a $25 gift card from Barnes & Noble. And the first place winner is Camille. Camille will receive the $50 Barnes & Noble cards. Congratulations. Now, guys, we will end this event shortly, but we would love for you to complete the poll of this event. So please fill it out. I have launched it. Please complete that. We thank you for in this event. Let me launch this PowerPoint real quick. All right. Thank you, everyone. You can join me in dancing, turn on your cameras. Thank you for a fun-filled event. Thank you. Guys, turn on your cameras. The three individuals, go ahead and say thank you. All right. That concludes, if you've completed the poll, that concludes this event. Thank you, thank you, thank you for participating and attending. Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm going to stop recording, guys.